Good morning. Welcome to this video. Now, normally on a video, when I watch videos, I'm trying to find out information that some content creator believes is true and wants to share, maybe wants to monetize that video, which is fine. I've watched many videos on cameras, gear, how-tos, etc. But on this video, I'm trying to find something out. Now, if I find what I'm looking for either through Olympus or the internet, I may do another video explaining what I'm trying to find out because I can't find it on the internet anywhere. And I've done a lot of looking on YouTube or just on the internet. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to call this an Olympus. I do understand that Olympus is no longer Olympus, but this body is Olympus. This 40 to 150 is OM Systems, and I believe that this is OM Systems. This is a 1.4 extender. Now, I'm primarily and originally a Canon shooter. This is an R5 Mark II body. This is a 100 to 500, and there's a 1.4 extender. The lenses don't matter, but just in case you were wondering, that's usually the way I shoot. I shoot manual, in video, and in stills. I'm primarily a stills shooter, but I do post images on Wirestock and Adobe. I'm a content creator on both, and I get paid more for videos. It's remarkable. Little 60-second videos, handheld. So I am very much becoming and have become a hybrid shooter, and that's really what I'm looking after here. Now, I'm trying to do something on this setup because I really like this camera. Now, I have noticed that a lot of content creators on YouTube that traditionally maybe started off with Canon and then maybe kind of switched over to Nikon, maybe totally, maybe partially, and even Sony, or Sony, not even Sony, but Sony. They're beginning to experiment with Olympus. Maybe Olympus is reaching out to them and offering them an opportunity to try the Olympus system. And there are a lot of good content creators that just use Olympus. It's a cult following. But I'm interested in Olympus because this body is relatively new to me, but it was made in 2016 and it was voted Camera of the Year in 2017. It had a shocking price of $2,000, if you can believe that. But it's still available. I ordered this through eBay in mint condition from a very good vendor in Japan. And I ordered this directly from Olympus as a refurbished lens, but they don't have their own website anymore. They use eBay. And then this is a very unique 1.4. It goes with this lens and another lens. There's a 1.4 extender for other Olympus or OM Systems lenses, but this one is unique to this particular lens. And I got both of these through eBay, and I'm happy with both of them. But this is what I'm trying to do. On my Canon, the way I've got this set up, Jan Winger showed me how to set up the pic side largely, and the gentleman from Wild, Alaska showed me how to set up the video, and this is the way I do it. But I'm going to start off with this. Okay, so this is a bit of an interruption, sorry, but I'm using my iPhone to film this. So I had to, somehow or another, I paused that recording. So I had to go back and play the recording to see where to pick up, okay? So one thing I failed to mention is that this camera is the Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II. And the reason I like it, they moved, the Mark I, I believe, had a 16 megapixel. If I'm wrong about this, forgive me. Please don't crucify me because I'm new to Olympus. The previous versions of this body had a 16 megapixel sensor. This one has, I think, a 20. But most importantly, this has pre-capture. And you know what that is. You hold the button, you depress the shutter, and it'll start taking images before you press it fully down. Now on this Canon, I have it rigged up for back button autofocus here, 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 and here. I can do it here, but I'm just using the front focus. A little bit of new muscle memory, but I'm just using the front focus because I'm still getting to know this camera. This camera, you can, my goodness, you can program anything except what I'm trying to do apparently. But this is the OMD EM1 Mark II. Okay. I did also mention that I like to shoot in manual. I usually do auto ISO like a lot of other people. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, the gentleman from Wild Alaska, and I'm talking about video. On the video side of this, CM1 or C1 custom is full frame 60p, 4K. I switched back and forth to, I used the multifunction button, and you can actually see up here. See if I can focus that a little bit. But you can see here, I think, C2, it's not really focused, but you can see it here. C2 are their exact same settings, 60p, 4K, with audio, of course, in crop mode, C3, which is important, is high definition, no audio, slow motion, high frame rate, okay? So if I'm in stills on the Canon and I press this button, I don't want to pause my iPhone recording again. If I press this button, I'm in stills. You can see the shutter speed and the aperture. So if I press this button, it's going to jump me over to begin recording instantly in C3 on video. Now, I haven't changed the switch. I'm still in pictures, but now I'm recording in video. Notice this is key. This is what I can't get across to the people at OM Systems because I've asked them for their help, and they're very good, actually. The OM Systems people, for me, a nobody, they're very good as the Canon experts. They're very, very good. So notice here that I'm shooting in, before in stills, I was at 1/4000th. Here, I'm at 1/320th, f-stop, f10, and so those are different settings than the stills. So if I go back up here and press the button, it's going to move me back into stills, and you can see the shutter speed, 1/4000th, f10 is kind of a coincidence. But anyway, I can move back motionlessly or effortlessly with this button, okay? So that's not what this video is about, but that's my frame. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm a hybrid shooter, so I want to be able to, at the push of a button on top of the body, move out of stills and move into video, but be able to have different settings. So the only way that I have learned how to do, I'm gonna move this out of the way. So this is my issue. My issue is not Canon. I'm trying to learn this system. And by the way, I failed to mention in the previous clip why I am experimenting with OM Systems. First of all, they're a great camera, great weather sealing, great tradition, just great history. They've had their problems, but still, this is really still good stuff. Smaller form factor, all that good stuff. All the reasons that people go to OM Systems. Sorry for the out of focus. But it's the lenses. These are big, they're expensive, they're wonderful, but I'm tired of being locked into the RF system and I want something different, particularly short lenses, like 50 millimeters. I mean, I can go out on the micro four thirds system and get all kinds of micro four thirds. I try to stick to OM Systems or Olympus because I just think natively they're better. That's me. That's my opinion. I'm not an expert, but there's a whole world of lenses out there, and I think that people are just getting tired of waiting and being exploited by Canon. Okay, now Canon is making a lot of money. their business is doing well, so their business model is doing well. They're making a lot of money on my loyalty, and Olympus is not, because they're in a world of micro four thirds, and you can get all kinds of but that's hurting the company, I believe. So so from a consumer standpoint, I'm selfish, but this is what I'm trying to do. Olympus. Now, Olympus has a command dial up here, and the video is here. Doesn't have a dedicated switch, but it does have one of these, and it is a record button. So this is what I'm trying to accomplish in the Olympus model, and I think I'm recording actually. Yeah, I think I was recording. Sorry about that. I'm trying to be able to come up here. I'm in picture mode, and I want to be able to push this button and jump out of these settings, these shutter speeds, aperture, etc., and be in picture mode, and to be able to set them here. But I can't. I can't set them here. You see the shutter speed, the aperture is not there. And there's no way I can figure out how to get it to display. So I'm stuck. The only way that I know how to be able to do video from stills is to do this, which is very, very cumbersome. Okay, so now I'm in stills. I'm in the stills mode, and you can see that I'm in manual. The only way that I know how to do this is to come up here. I don't want to pause come up here, use the command dial to go to video, and then all the settings are there, but those aren't the settings I want. I don't want to be at 1/2000th. I don't want to be there, because I need to be 2 times the frame rate of whatever it is that I'm trying to shoot. So I don't want to be there. Those were my still, I'm in video, but those were my still settings when I was in stills. I don't want that. I want to be able to jump into video and have different settings. And so if I change this, if I change these settings, see how to do this. I know it's out of focus. I'm sorry about that. If I change these settings in video, and let's just say I go there. Okay, now if I want to change the aperture, I can change it up here. So if I change that, if I want to get back to stills, which I do to demonstrate my problem, I've got to go back up here, because this button does me no good. I've got to go back up here to the command dial, as they call it, and go back into manual. And guess what? My settings now in manual are as they were in video. And that's very frustrating. That's very frustrating. What I would like to be able to do, and there are programmable buttons up here. There's C1, C2, C3. But unlike Canon, I can switch into stills. And I could set up C1, C2, C3 in stills. And then I can go to video, and I can set up C1, C2, C3 in video. And I can jump back and forth with this button. I can jump out of stills and jump into video C3 into those settings that I preset, and then come back, press this button again, jump back into pictures in those settings. Different settings, easy, effortlessly. So if I'm out in the field and I'm shooting an osprey, or if I'm shooting a blue heron and I've got all the pictures I want, and I want 60 seconds of a video, I can push this button and immediately be in the settings I want, C3 video. And then when I'm finished, I can jump back using this button and be right back into my still settings. Now, this is important. This is an older body, but it does have that button on top. Now, a lot of the the photographers, the real photographers that are being offered OM Systems gear, they're not using the OMD EM1 Mark II. They're using the OM1 Mark II, the newest, and they're using nicer lenses. I don't have that body. I have this body. I have this body. So I'm trying to figure out if and how I can jump from stills to video as a hybrid shooter and keep the settings, maintain the settings in stills to jump back to. And when I jump to video, I've got settings there that are preset, that are unique to video with a shutter speed matched to frame rate. And then when I'm there, if I have to stop down the exposure using stopping down the f-stop, and I'm looking in the viewfinder with from in the video section, I need to be able to adjust the aperture in that mode. I need to be able to do that, but I can't do that when I make that jump. I can do it if I switch, if I make the switch. But then when I manually make the new video settings and I go back using the comm dial to picture mode or stills mode, now the settings that I made when I was in video mode have carried back over to the still mode. And that is very time consuming, very frustrating, especially when I know that this camera does it the way I'm used to. And I'm wondering how to do this. So I'd like for somebody who's suffered through this video to explain to me how to do this, or if it's possible, to be able to make the switch to preserve the settings from the stills and jump over to video and have those settings pre-saved. And then when I'm in that mode, to be able to change the aperture or any settings, even the shutter speed if necessary, because they are gone. I can't do it. The only way I can change aperture and shutter speed is to use the command dial. And that command dial, when I do that, it messes up everything. It changes the aperture and shutter speed for both video and stills. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish. Okay, if I find out the answer to this, I'll make a video explaining how to do this.